Hey folks, welcome to Co-Optimus's review of Saints Row 4, or as I like to call it, Saints Row the Third, now with aliens and superpowers. This is a Saints Row game. It's a lot of fun, like the other ones have been. The problem is this one is very similar to Saints Row the Third. And the comparison between Saints Row 2 and what happened in Saints Row the Third and the jump there, this Saints Row 4 feels like it's more like downloadable content. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's what it felt like to me. I mean, I played through it, and yeah, you're back in Steelport again. It's the same map. You're a president, but due to some plot points, which I'm sure you've picked up on and seen videos, you're imprisoned in a version of Steelport where they can kind of change the rules and bend the laws of how things work, which can create some interesting situations. But it's pretty much Saints Row the Third, but now you have some superpowers and now you're fighting aliens. The superpowers are pretty cool. There's a lot of neat stuff you can use there, like blast and telekinesis and death from above. Really quality powers that will help you create some chaos. But you know, you could upgrade your rocket launcher in Saints Row the Third and pretty much get the same results. If you did play Saints Row the Third through the end and finished all the missions, you were incredibly powerful. You were basically a superhero by the end of that game. So this game kind of just gives you some of those same powers earlier, only they look different because they're superpowers instead of guns. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the super jump and super speed powers are amazing. They're great to have in a game like this. They do them pretty well, and with two players, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see each other running around and jumping all through the area. There's a couple issues where your jumping and wall running can get hung up on ledges, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. But that is a nice addition. You don't have to be stealing cars or planes or anything. I know that's kind of the point of Saints Row, but just those superpowers really do add a lot to the game. Technically, the game, well, it looks like it did back in 2011 whenever Saints Row the Third came out. Also, for the open world portions of the game, I had some issues with my autosave. The game would slow way down in single player, but oddly enough, it worked fine in co-op. It's still fun. It's still a good time, and of course, the whole thing is co-opable. You can play the whole thing with another buddy. The co-op works exactly the same as it does in Saints Row the Third. You can have people drop into your game, or you can drop into other people's games. Everything that you do saves to your profile. It's all online, of course. So any money, experience, upgrades, or areas that you unlock, that happens in your game too, unless of course you're behind the other guy in story experience. You're going to want to sync that up. So whoever's the low man on the totem pole for story experience, you'll want them to host the game. The character creation's back, and there's some additions there. There were some really neat Star Wars references for a bunch of characters. I did enjoy that. One of the big problems that this one has is that whereas you were fighting against several different gangs in the Third, you're just fighting against this alien menace. Now, there's a couple of story elements and side missions and things that have some plot points that are kind of interesting and change up the rules and give you a neat digitized world that you can go play in, or slightly different side quests or adventures, but they're pretty meaningless and they get repetitive very quickly, and it's kind of one note. It's just this: you're killing the same couple alien guys over and over and over again. Every now and then a mini boss will show up, but you just deal with him the way you dealt with everyone else, which is usually freeze him and shoot him with your best gun. Now, speaking of guns, there's guns like the dubstep gun and the singularity gun and the America weapon that you get if you pre-ordered the game. Now they're fantastic and they cause all sorts of destruction, but it's just kind of more of the same. Like, how many different ways do you need to blow something up? Several, yes, but I don't know if I need to do it for 30 hours. It's a lot of fun. I would say I'm a fan of the Saints Row games, but I just don't know if I'd be comfortable Well, actually, I would be. I'm fine with dropping $60 on a game like this. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if everyone else would. This just didn't feel like a full game to me. It felt like additions to Saints Row the Third. Now, they were really, really fun additions, and none of the co-op from Saints Row the Third has changed. So it's a fun title, and I enjoyed it. I just think that the average gamer is going to feel like they're paying for some extravagant DLC. Obviously, if you were a fan of Saints Row the Third, you're going to enjoy Saints Row 4, but the whole thing looks familiar because it is. The superpowers are nice, the new story is kind of interesting, but you've been here before.